chat. Vamos lá. Vamos dar uma olhada aqui, mano. The streamer who went from... Caralho, mano. 165 mil viewers para apenas 50 viewers. Esse vídeo pode ser bem interessante, bem complicado. Sei lá, é porque vendo esse vídeo aqui pra mim, não é tipo... Não é tipo, nossa, que bad. Mas é porque eu me vejo muito nesse vídeo, mano. Tá ligado? Porque, tipo, eu pegava, tipo, 300, 400 pessoas em live na Twitch. E agora eu pego, tipo, 30, 20. Mas, tipo, porque eu quis, tá ligado? Porque eu quis. Eu quis mudar o meu chat, quis mudar meu conteúdo e foda-se, foda-se. Só que é doloroso, mano. Tipo, porque a diferença de 30, tipo, de 30 pessoas em live agora pra 300 é muita coisa, tá ligado? Mas de 165 mil pra 50, caralho, tá ligado? Sei lá, mano. Mas deve ser a mesma coisa, mano. Ele quis mudar de jogo, mano. Não aguentava mais. Tipo assim, ele quis mudar de jogo, talvez cansou do jogo, o jogo tava insuportável, irritante. Provavelmente ele já não era, tipo, mais no mesmo nível do bagulho. Porque, porra, você fica, tipo... Mano, você fica enjoado do bagulho, tá ligado? E aí, tipo, o maluco só quer ver você jogando a porra daquele jogo, mano. E o maluco vaza, foda-se, o maluco tá pouco se lixando. Foda-se, whatever, também, pouco me lixando. Mas deve ser essa true, tá ligado? Certeza. The streamer who went around 165 mil, 50 viewers. Vamos lá, dá uma olhada.
In 2018, at just 19 years old, Myth would become the second most followed streamer on Twitch.
Ô, você é louco, tá abaixo, hein? Aqui. Perfeito.
In 10 months, he went from a small streamer averaging 50 viewers to becoming one of the biggest creators in the world, with a new average of 37,000 live viewers. Myth was an early adopter of Fortnite Battle Royale and had become regarded as the best player in the world.
Mano, o maluco hypava nessa skin só pra dele.
Do we have any Myth fans in the house?
He would rapidly gain millions of followers across his various social media platforms and was averaging over 1 million views per video on his YouTube channel. But 5 years later, in 2023, things have changed. A lot. Myth has been consistently losing subscribers for 2 years, rapidly losing followers on Twitch, Instagram and Twitter, and can often be seen streaming to under 100 people, a number perhaps hard to fathom considering where he once was. So what happened? How did Myth go from the second biggest streamer in the world to this? Well, let me explain by taking you back to the start, where it all began. Myth's online presence can be traced back to November 2013, when he would create his current YouTube channel at the age of 14. As with most gaming creators at the time, he would begin by posting low-quality Minecraft. At the age of 14. As with most gaming creators at the...
Caralho, o PewDiePie aqui tá foda. Caralho, eu não lembro dessa porra, mano. Battlefield. É Battlefield, né? Ou é Crysis? Não lembro, velho. Não vejo diferença, não. Caralho.
Begin by posting low-quality Minecraft and Call of Duty videos. However, his content would see huge improvements over the next few years, and by 2016, Myth began streaming on Twitch and uploading the highlights to his YouTube channel. Around this period, streaming was far less normalized, and was a laughable career option in the eyes of the mainstream. But despite this, Myth had set his sights on becoming a successful streamer and was putting in a serious amount of time and effort at an incredible consistency, streaming almost every single day, often for over 5 hours straight, all while still attending high school and working at a coffee shop. But Myth's hard work would pay off quickly, and by November 2016, he was streaming to an average audience of 50 live viewers. During this period, Myth's streams were focused almost entirely around one game, Paragon. Despite there being a vast plethora of games with far higher viewership potential on YouTube and Twitch, Myth would continue to dedicate himself to Paragon, and for the next 10 months would essentially play nothing but this game on his streams. However, his loyalty to Paragon would prove to reap little rewards in terms of growth, as by mid-2017, Myth was still averaging around the same viewers as the year before. Things were starting to look less optimistic for the young streamer. That was until September 2017, when Myth would make a decision that would change his life forever, when he would finally take a chance on a game other than Paragon and turned his attention to a new release slowly gaining traction in the gaming community.
Olha que da hora, era da hora, mano, era bom.
Battle Royale. Fortnite was somewhat similar to that of PUBG and H1Z1, two Battle Royale games that were extremely popular and topping the charts on Twitch at the time. However, Fortnite gave a fresh take on the genre, moving away from what could be considered a mature art style and gameplay to a more wholesome aesthetic with bright colors, high saturation, cartoon-styled character models, and dancing. Initially after Fortnite's release, many gamers and streamers were quick to write the game off, seeing it as a goofy PUBG knockoff made for kids. And with the game being free to play, it cast doubt on the quality of the product. After all, in 2017, it was extremely rare for a free game to have any long-term substance or success. But whilst the vast majority of streamers and players were sleeping on Fortnite, Myth was there on day one of release and streaming the game to his audience. And after his first Fortnite stream on 12th of September 2017, he would continue to play and stream Fortnite for many, many hours every single day. And let's just say being an early adopter and believer in the game would prove to be a stroke of genius. Myth was putting in far more hours than 99.9% of players, consistently streaming over 8 hours every day, and would quickly become one of the highest skilled players on Fortnite. Whilst it would take most players weeks, if not months, to get just one single win on the game, after only 5 days of playing, Myth had won an absurd 22 games. A feat so impressive that even the official Fortnite Twitter page took...
quando o jogo é pequeno é diferente, né, mano? Só foi a mesma coisa. Mano, tá louco, velho. Mas da hora ter os caras ter tweetado, mano.
Notice and would shout out his Twitch stream. For context,
foi nessa época que o Fortnite queria vídeo patrocinado, velho. Eu lembro dessa porra, velho. O Fortnite tava investindo muito, mano. Eu fiz vídeo patrocinado dessa porra, mano.
A win on Fortnite was no easy task, with 100 players competing in each game to become the last man standing, in a world where one single shotgun bullet or sniper shot can defeat you. There was a lot of room for failure. A win on the game was in fact so special at the time that players would post pictures to their social media accounts, flexing the now iconic Victory Royale screen. Getting just one win was an achievement, but Myth was making it look like a walk in the park. And only one day after his shoutout from Fortnite, Myth had increased his win count by 8, reaching 30 Victory Royales. The same day, Myth would begin uploading highlights of his gameplay to YouTube, including a video of him dropping 20 kills in one single game. This level of skill was incomprehensible. Most players would be lucky to get one kill. Meanwhile, Myth was taking out an entire fifth of the lobby himself. It was beginning to look like Myth could actually be the best Fortnite player in the world. However, at this time, Fortnite was still yet to gain considerable traction and popularity, which was reflected in Myth's streaming stats, as despite his elite level of gameplay, his stream would see a fairly little amount of growth after his transition away from Paragon, and he was still averaging around 50 to 75 concurrent viewers per stream. That was until November, when with a stroke of luck and random chance, Myth would end up in the same Fortnite game as one of the biggest streamers on Twitch. Summit 1G. With no idea he was coming up against one of the biggest streamers in the world, who was streaming live to over 15,000 people, Myth would aggressively approach, outbuild, and outplay Summit. This was not normal, and people were taking notice. Soon after the game, Myth would upload a clip of him outplaying Summit to YouTube, and it would quickly become his most viewed video yet. Viewers...
Será que esse é o... Será que esse é o destino de todos que farmam em cima matando streamer ou youtuber? Cê é louco, velho. We killed some. Será que esse daí é o futuro dos meus manos, mano? Montage? Não, é porque ele é da hora, velho. Ele só jogava, esse maluco é da hora. Ele sempre foi muito carismático, bem de boa, mano.
Play Summit. This was not normal.
Não, mano, mas é que tipo assim, óbvio, velho. O cara tryharda tudo de óbvio, o cara vai ser melhor do que o outro streamer ali que já foi alguma coisa em qualquer outro jogo, tá ligado? Porra, velho, só ficar 24 horas por dia, mano. Principalmente quando o jogo é lançamento, velho. Não tem como.
And people were taking notice. Soon after the game, Myth would upload a clip of him outplaying Summit to YouTube, and it
Só que a diferença dele com outras pessoas é que ele tava jogando no início do jogo e já jogava bem, tá ligado? Tipo... Tem uma galera que, tipo, mata o streamer depois que a porra do PVP ou o modo de jogo já tá, tipo, há... um ano e meio, 2 anos, tá ligado? Aí óbvio, porra.
Quem
streamer que vai aguentar ficar 2 anos jogando a mesma porra?
His most viewed video yet. Viewers were in awe at Myth's ability, especially that of his building skill. And with him topping the leaderboards as the player with the most solo PC wins, Myth was certainly making a name for himself amongst the small Fortnite community. And following the video where he would destroy summits, Myth would upload a series of building tutorials, which would perform far greater than the rest of his YouTube content.
Foi aí, ó. Foi aí que aí acabou tudo. Foi fazer tutorial do bagulho de construção e acabou tudo. Então ele é o culpado. Ele é o culpado. Caralho. Caralho.
Wins, Myth was certainly making a name for himself amongst the small Fortnite community. And following the video where he would destroy summits, Myth would upload a series of building tutorials, which would perform far greater than the rest of his YouTube content. There was no doubt in the community that Myth was the best builder in the game. And considering that Fortnite's unique selling point was building, it was a huge title to hold. All of this led to a considerable rise in viewership on Myth's Twitch channel, and for the month of November 2017, he would average 179 concurrent viewers per stream, double that of the last month. The following month of December was when Fortnite really started to pick up pace in terms of popularity, and thanks to Myth's prolonged commitment to the game, his stream would begin to blow up.
Não aceitei. Só fui fazer depois, velho. Nessa época o Fortnite mandava e-mail toda semana pra fazer vídeo patrocinado, velho. Era doideira essa porra.
December 1st, 142 live average viewers. December 2nd, 332 viewers. Myth had doubled his average viewers in just one day, but things would get even better when once again Myth would find himself in Fortnite
fazia muita view com Bad Wars, mano.
And when the two players would eventually encounter one another, they would have a 1v1 battle that would go down in Fortnite history. Summit would notice a base at the top of a hill. Little did he know Myth was the one waiting inside. Summit then decides to aggressively build upwards towards the base, ready to engage. But instead of Myth sitting idly like the majority of players would, he starts building at incredible speed.
É o fucking Andy. Olha lá, tem que confiar no Andy, velho.
What the f? He keeps building higher.
Eu amo o Andy. Ó, toma. Então pega.
Stop building so high! Stop it!
E aí depois disso veio o SOT, né? Tá louco, mano. O Andy fez view, velho.
Is this guy a...
No SOT era muito foda, mano. Olha.
What's happening?
Cara, ele já editava! Ele já editava, louco. Caralho! Aí não tem o que fazer, velho.
He kept building up and building up.
Sabe por que eu respeito muito mais os caras que, tipo, no início do jogo os caras já é bom pra caralho? Porque no início do jogo os caras é bom, eles que descobrem o bagulho, mano. Depois lá quando todo mundo acostuma e todo mundo aprende o tutorial, aí foda-se, mano. Whatever, mano. Tá ligado? Mano, o cara que aprende sozinho o jogo, velho. Esse cara é o respect mais, não adianta, velho. Você é louco, velho.
Up and building up and I couldn't catch him.
Você é louco. Cara bom, mano.
How did that man shotgun me down beneath like that? Did you see that?
Good fight, Summit. I like that.
I've never seen that strategy used. I've never seen that strategy. You could tell he's a good player. I've never seen that strategy used where when someone's trying to get into your base, you just keep building up, keep building up, keep building up.
Aí, viu?
That was impressive. Not gonna lie.
For the second time, Myth had completely outplayed one of the biggest streamers in the world. This kind of building gameplay was not normal.
Mano, a
and
melhor
all the
coisa é o Summit
thousands of
chutando com
viewers
sorte,
in
velho.
Summit's stream who witnessed the fight,
Live do
the
Summit era
same
muito
question
boa. Até
was
hoje é muito boa,
likely
não
going
adianta,
through
melhor
their
que teve.
minds. Who is this Myth guy, and how is he so good at the game? And it was no coincidence
Isso que é merda, tá vendo?
Moment,
mano, o maior problema de você, tipo, matar streamer, youtuber e, tipo, nossa, ele matou esse cara, eu quero muito ver. Aí que você, tipo, tem que ficar trazendo conteúdo sendo melhor. Aí, tipo, mano, você não vai ser o melhor pra sempre. Aí tu vai tomar o sacode e todo mundo vai te esquecer. Foda-se, tá ligado? Você vai tomar um sacode com uma criança de 5 anos que não tem, mano, mais nada pra fazer do dia, velho. E fica o dia inteiro treinando, sei lá, Fortnite, CS, Valorant, Minecraft PP. E tu vai tomar massa depois, mano. Não importa se matou o Tileiras velho que já não joga o bagulho o dia inteiro, tá ligado? E só tá lá pra Tileiras ou pra tiltar e o caralho a 4. Que nem o Andy, mano, tá ligado? Não adianta, velho. E o Andy é um Vert streamer, mano. O cara, ele vai jogar todos os jogos que tiver pra jogar, mano. Depois ele vai vazar. Então, é o problema. Aí, tipo, tu mata o cara, você demonstra uma gameplay muito foda e você tem que estar mostrando alto nível, senão todo mundo vai, tipo, te esquecer, velho. Foda-se, tá ligado?
Would begin to grow even faster. December 16th, 570 viewers. December 24th, 1,000 viewers. December 26th, 2,000 viewers. December 28th, 3,000.
Caralho! Só porque matou o Samzinho?
Myth had multiplied his viewers over 20x in the space of 1 month. And whilst many streamers would slow down on streaming over the holidays, he was grinding an average of 10 hours every day.
Mano.
And it was working. As Myth's
maluco
Twitch
tá
was
achando que vai me matar e vai fazer
skyrocketing
view.
to fights, more fuel would be added to the fire. When a random viewer would post a clip from Myth's stream, that would take the internet by storm. The video was titled Insane Build Fight, I'm the Myth, and would quickly go
Tá louco,
viral.
vai ser o canal vai levar strike, velho.
In the
Os caras não
clip,
sabem que meu nome
Myth
da
could be
strike, não?
seen in an intense build battle against another player, a fight that he would go on to win. And whilst in hindsight this gameplay may look underwhelming to the average Fortnite player in 2023, at the time, this kind of building was exceptional and was incomprehensible to the average player who had started playing the game over the holidays, ending the month with 34,000 followers gained
então,
on
mano,
Twitch.
Season 2 pro final eu já tava construindo assim. Isso que é foda, tá ligado? Aí a Season 3 eu já tava manjando já. Season 3 eu já tava manjando.
The holidays,
Já tava realmente
ending the
manjando,
month with 34,000 followers gained on Twitch and 21,000 more subscribers on YouTube. Myth's rise to fame was
Mano, eu vi a live do Myth, do Doctor, do Ninja pra caralho.
And on the 10th of January 2018, he would sign a professional contract with the esports organization TSM, bringing a new level of respect to his name and, of course, more eyes to his stream. On January 15th,
Cara, eu
he would post one of
aprendi
his
coisinha de construção vendo live do Ninja, mano. Do Myth também. Eu lembro por causa dessa skin aqui que eu era fissurado da skin dele, velho. Todo mundo queria comprar essa porra dessa skin, quando veio na loja foi bizarríssima. Todo mundo queria comprar essa porra desses caralho de esqueletão aí, velho. Isso é louco.
most viral videos yet, where he would get 27 kills in one game, which would quickly amass over 2 million views. And it was no coincidence that, in the week following this upload, Myth's average concurrent viewers on Twitch would rise from around 3,000 to 7,000. The growth was starting to get even faster, and by this point Myth was gaining around 10,000 followers per day on Twitch. In the space of a few months, he'd gone from being completely unknown and making presumably very little money from streaming to becoming one of the most viewed streamers on the site.
Não queria isso. Caralho, eu juro por Deus, mano. Mas eu não desejo atualmente crescer por ser bom no bagulho, velho. Tá ligado? Eu posso ser bom em vários jogos ali, demonstrar, mas eu não quero, tipo, porra, só por causa disso, mano. Por isso que eu tento mandar todo mundo tomar no cu pra sair fora, velho. Vaza, vaza, pelo amor de Deus. É muito ruim, vocês não têm ideia, velho. Você tem que ter expectativa de querer sempre ser o melhor, só que você cansa da porra do jogo e não quer mais jogar, velho. Tá ligado? Aí você tem que continuar sendo o melhor. Caralho, vai minha rola.
Sites, and undoubtedly making thousands of dollars per day from his stream, YouTube channel, and brand
Sei como que o Ninja ainda consegue se esforçar a jogar essa merda desse jogo,
would reach 1,000 wins on Fortnite, and every one of his YouTube videos were consistently getting hundreds of thousands of views. But it got even better. In February 2018, TSM would announce their official competitive Fortnite team, a squad consisting of Myth and 3 other upcoming pro players, Daquan, Camille's, and Hamlet.
E eu não assistia Daquan por ele ser bom pra caralho. É porque ele era engraçado, velho. Tá ligado? Até louco, mano.
Quickly became the most...
Que nem o Ninja no começo do Fortnite também, no H1Z1, era muito bom, mano. Tá louco. Eu sempre procurava a live que era mais solta e que o maluco falava várias merda e metia o louco, tá ligado? Não que nem o do Doc, o do Ninja, quando era no H1Z1 no começo do Fortnite. Depois que ele estourou com o Fortnite, né, aí ele começou a ter aquela moral gigante com o bagulho do Drake também. Aí foi meio que mudando, né, a skinzinha dele. Acho que era pelo bem maior do Family Friend. Aí começa a dar merda. Mas daí, cara, é engraçado, mano, com a Double Gun dele. Double Gun não. Double Gun foi o do SWAT, Double Pump.
And let's just say, the viewers loved it. Fortnite was now beginning to transcend the gaming community, and the rapid growth of the game was starting to gain considerable mainstream media attention. At the forefront of this hysteria was the streamer Ninja, who was also seeing an unprecedented level of growth alongside the Fortnite boom.
Mano, eu lembro até quando ele começa a mudar as molduras, né? E aqui em cima que apareceu a quantidade de sub, mano. Eu ficava, caralho, 100 mil, caralho, 200 mil. E o bagulho ia upando, né, quando vinha sub. Nossa, era muito louco essa porra, velho.
The Fortnite boom.
Foi aí que eu comecei a me interessar por layout de live, velho. Na live do Ninja, mano. Porque era muito foda, mano. Ó o doutorzinho. Caralho.
Rapidly becoming by far the most subscribed streamer on Twitch and the face of Fortnite. People would often debate who the best player in the world was, and more often than not, the debate was between two players, Myth or Ninja. With that being said, the two of them saw an opportunity for more viral content and would collaborate at the end of February, playing duos together. It was a magnificent spectacle for the community, and following the stream, Myth would upload one of
his... louco. Olha quantos subs aqui, chat. Começo do estouro do Ninjeras. Cadê? Olha aqui. Bem, deixa eu desabilitar o chat. Ó. Aqui. 42 mil. Combo de 363, mano. Cê é louco, velho. O maluco chegou a 200 mil, mano. Cê é louco, velho. Muito grande, mano.
Community, and following the stream, Myth would upload one of their games to his YouTube channel, becoming his most viewed video ever, quickly reaching over 5 million views. Myth's growth was getting outrageous at this point, and by the end of February, he was the third most sub streamer on Twitch, and doubled his average concurrent view count from the previous month to 11,000 average viewers, all whilst gaining 400,000 new followers. But it didn't stop there. Myth would take note of the success from his collaboration with Ninja, and a couple weeks later, would begin playing duos with one of the most popular streamers in the world.
A febre desses dois namorar, velho. Isso é louco.
This collab would prove to bring even more attention to Myth's streams, with multiple viral, fan-made videos uploaded to YouTube, 4.7 million, 5.9 million, 11 million views. However, Myth didn't solely rely on collaborations to continue his growth, and was still focused on his gameplay, proven by another viral video posted to his YouTube, showcasing a 39-kill solo versus squad match. For the month of March 2018, Myth would once again double his Twitch viewers, consistently pulling over 20,000 average viewers per stream. On top of this, he would...
É muita gente pra te assistir, pra tu ser certinho, pra tu não fazer nada de errado. Isso é louco, mano. Ficar se privando. Não sei, mano. Eu não sei se... Porra, não sei se um dia acontecesse isso comigo. Eu gostaria que fosse 23 mil pessoas que realmente sabem como eu sou, que nem a porra do X, e foda-se, mano. Porque eu ia falar tanta merda, velho. Ia ser minha live normal e, caralho, eu ia ser dizimado, mano. Nossa, eu ia ser dizimado na rede social, velho. Nossa, é louco, eu ia ser chato pra caralho, velho. Você é louco, imagina, galera, nossa, adoraria ter muita gente live. Você é louco, vai tomar no cu, mano. Mas, porra, velho. Não... Ah, mas dinheiro entra o caralho, velho. Dinheiro entra e a tua cabeça fica fudida, mano. Você é louco.
Gain a jaw-dropping
muita gente, mano.
800,000 followers, in the process of which he would break over 1 million overall followers on his Twitch channel.
Yeah, we hit a million esse bagulho do Blade? Acho que não, né? Twitch followers. I told myself I wouldn't cry, dude.
Myth seemed unstoppable at this point. In the space of only 4 months, he had gone from being relatively unknown on Twitch and YouTube to becoming one of the biggest and fastest growing creators of all time. Things just seemed to get better and better for Myth at this point. But that was until April 2018 came around, when Myth was invited to a Fortnite tournament hosted by Ninja.
Foi, bateu recorde na Twitch essa merda, velho. Eu vi esse caralho.
And with huge amounts of pressure and expectations.
Isso é... Ô, sincerão, na moral, velho. Maluco aí na época nos gringos era muito chato, mano. Mano, ele foi jogar por evento e, tipo assim, ele não conseguiu jogar. Ele tomou, tipo assim, não tomou pau, mas ele teve 2 azares e, tipo, sei lá, ele não tava jogando com vontade, sei lá, ele tava meio bad já aconteceu numa partida lá e ele jogou meio merda, tá ligado? E ele frustrou, ficou puto, mano, tá ligado? Chorar, mas frustra, mano. E aí o maluco começou, tipo... Tira a moral. Esse é o problema de você ser bom e ficar se mostrando de perfeitinho no bagulho, tá ligado? Não demonstrar pro público que você tilta, que você fica puto, o cara era 4 e tipo... O cara se frustrou porque perdeu o bagulho, chorou e coisa normal de qualquer outra pessoa aí, mano. E aí, você tá ligado como que é a porra da internet e o público, né, mano? Tem que Jax Dishrug, né, mano?
On his shoulders to perform against other players. This event...
Não, mas vou te falar. Esse daqui... Mano, bagulho de editar, tá ligado? Pelo que eu sei, editou o bagulho e ele saiu voando, tá ligado? Aí, mano, ele frustrou, velho. Mano. Ele tava bem nesse partido, lembro? Ele foi pular no cara, o cara colocou acho que um chão e editou e eu acho que ele saiu voando, tá ligado?
Be the first pitfall in Myth's career thus far.
Aí, ó, viu?
I can see it right now. He's already coming up with an excuse. How do I tell everyone that I fell off the map? Like, what do I do? How do I let everyone know that I didn't get that many kills and I fell off?
While Smith had been growing at an unprecedented...
Aí também, quem foi falar isso daí? Foi o Ninja? Também esse cara aqui é fuder o maluco, né? Olha o que o cara fala, velho.
Didn't get that many kills and I fell off.
While Smith had been growing at an unprecedented speed, Ninja was a different animal, and having recently smashed the record for the most speed, Ninja was a different animal.
Imagina se jogar qualquer jogo. Ah, é que tá com o Drake, né? 585 mil pessoas, velho. Você tá louco, mano. O Israel da Twitch era chique, velho. Caralho, muita gente, mano.
Having recently smashed the record for the most subscribed streamer
eu vi essa live.
of all time, who better?
Não parava. Era eu, o Todinho e o Lips no TS, vendo a live do Ninja. A gente ficava vendo a live do Ninja e Dr. Respect e falando, caralho, mano, olha quanto sub. A gente ficava olhando essa porra dessa barrinha aqui, que era viciante, de ver aumentando o número e aumentando a quantidade de sub aqui, tá ligado? Essa live foi bizarra de ver a quantidade de sub que entrava, velho. Não parava um segundo.
To host the first ever in-person Fortnite tournament than him. Ninja and Myth were essentially the two biggest names on Twitch and in Fortnite.
Adorava a moldura do Ninja, adorava
and with them both
Ninja,
being seen as the two best players in the game, viewers were dying for the opportunity to see the two officially face off against each other in a game of Fortnite. With Fortnite fans seeing this as an opportunity to finally settle the debate amongst the community as to which of the two players was the best in the world.
Quem via meus vídeos, mano, na época lá de Bad Wars, de HG e tudo mais, eu odiava esse versus, mano. Tá louco, velho. Isso é louco, é muito chato, velho. Nossa senhora. Bagulho de versus que é melhor, mano. Eu falava que eu não gostaria de ser comparado e foda-se, mano. Eu falava isso desde do caralho do pinto, velho. Esse bagulho de comparação é uma merda, porque isso é ruim pros dois lados, mano. Pro lado que provavelmente vai ganhar, talvez é melhor, e pro lado que perde. Porque, mano, isso tu vai colocar literalmente na sua personalidade, na sua comunidade que você joga pra ser o melhor, você joga pra vencer os outros streamers ou produtor de conteúdo, e no dia que você falhar e você perder pro mano, meu mano, o seu público vai, ó, se fudeu e vai de next, mano. Eles vão pra, esse cara que ganhou dele, vamos pular pra eles e foda-se, tá ligado? É uma coisa que eu sempre colocava em vídeo Neo de PVP e falava, mano, eu não quero ser comparado, eu não sou melhor que ninguém, foda-se, mano. Mas Pedro, você fica... Quando você mata os caras, comba os caras, você fala que eu sou melhor. Mano, é um bagulho de comemoração, foda-se, velho. Eu sou o melhor caralho, velho. Tu acha que eu vou ficar o dia inteiro jogando bagulho e tryhardando pra ser o melhor nessa porra? Sempre vai ter a porra de uma criança de 5 anos de idade que tem um dedinho mais acelerado e melhor e vai ganhar. Ou vai estar com um mousezinho melhor e vou estar cheatando e foda-se, tá ligado? Pelo amor de Deus, mano. Você é louco.
Naturally, this created a
não faz bem pra saúde, não faz bem pra pessoa, não faz bem até pro círculo da comunidade isso, tá ligado?
And viewers were edged on
sempre vai ter a criança de 5 anos de idade que clica mais rápido com o dedinho que não tá todo duro já de tanto clicar. Essa porra aqui não funciona mais direito, ó. Meu dedo tudo torto já, velho.
In gun battles and build fights of magnitudes that had never been seen before. The event came around and the stage was set. And it wasn't long before 680,000 live viewers came flooding over to
não, esse aí foi do campeonato com o Myth.
Stream of the event, thus breaking the record for the most concurrent viewers of all time on Twitch. All eyes were on Myth and Ninja.
Myth, a very, very popular player, crazy big on Twitch. These two going against each other, is there anything else you can think of in Fortnite that might make you a little...
This is the absolute biggest thing.
You guys, besides Ninja, I think tonight the one guy everybody's been waiting to see play is TSM Myth over here. Can I hear it in the house? How many of you guys are here waiting for Myth to do some domination tonight? How are you feeling coming into this final heat trying to destroy Ninja?
I feel really, really confident.
Puta, ele fala um bagulho que é foda mesmo. Aí é que fudeu mesmo.
Next 3 games, how many do you think you're gonna win?
Minimum 2. Like, I want to win minimum 2 games.
Mas ele era novo. Ele falou que no mínimo ele ia ganhar 2 partidas por isso, velho. Agora eu quebrei. Tudo que eu falei quebrou, velho. Ele meteu o ego, velho. Ai, caralho, aí fudeu. Mas é criança, né, mano? Quantos anos ele tinha, mano? Adolescente é foda, velho. O maluco tá com o ego lá em cima, é foda, mano.
Go for the 2 fair.
Isso é louco. Nossa, aí que a merda bate, velho. Tadinho, mano. Eu fiquei com pena agora, velho.
Definitely
é louco, mano.
With expectations of Myth
ele aumenta a
already
expectativa,
extremely
né,
high, and comments of confidence during his
que nem o Tifu lá no campeonato também falou que ia ganhar pra caralho. Não tem porra nenhuma, mano. Mano, não dá, velho. Não dá, velho. Sempre é, mano. Meu mano, quando tem uma criancinha de 5 anos de idade, velho, você não pode falar, tá ligado? Que tá podendo jogar 24 horas por dia pra ficar muito foda, já é bom. Pra ficar muito foda, ele vai amassar, velho. O Tifu tomou também no campeonato, ele tomou aqui, o Ninja tomou do Tifu, e é isso, velho. É o grade, é a pirâmide, mano, tá ligado? O topo da pirâmide vai mudando, a pirâmide vai aumentando. O topo que era que era o Mif, aí subiu um pouquinho, aí virou o Ninja, aí aumentou um pouquinho, aí agora é o Tifu, e vai indo, aparece a porra dos crianças de 10 anos, e acabou, velho, tá ligado? Não vai ter como, não dá pra acompanhar, velho. Porque você joga por horas e horas no início do jogo, tá ligado? Você tryharda pra ser bom no início, e você começa a cansar, tá ligado? É que nem Dark and Dark, mano. Dark and Dark, quando eu comecei a jogar, mano, toda vez que fazia uma run no beta, matava 16 players no total, matava 12, 10 toda a run, velho. Farmava todos os itens mais pica. Sei lá, mano, no início do Bad Wars também era todo dia vitória, era farm de win streak, HG no início. Mano, a gente joga tanto que começa a cansar, velho, tá ligado? É muito difícil você ver um player que gosta tanto, que o cara fica 20 anos jogando bagulho e 20 anos joga bem porque o cara não cansa e quer ficar o dia inteiro tryhardando essa porra, tá ligado? É muito difícil, mano. Começa a ficar cansativo, começa a virar, tipo... Vem até com o público, né? Com o público assistindo, etc. Você fica com aquela porra daquele... Não é mais pra se divertir com o início do jogo, tipo, se divertir porque você quer ser bom só pra ser bom. Você começa a virar um trampo e tu tem que ficar sendo bom, se força a querer ser bom, e a merda bate, tá ligado?
The event would prove to be a complete disaster for Myth and painfully anticlimactic for the audience, as Myth would put on an extremely disappointing performance, dying very early on in 2 games and awkwardly falling to his death during a build battle.
Isso é muito não, isso aí não é culpa dele.
I don't know if you know, but Myth fell off the side of a mountain.
Yeah, he fell and died.
Hope he's got good health insurance, man. Pay for those broken ankles, you know what I'm saying? I can see it right now. He's already coming up with an excuse. How do I tell everyone that I fell off the map? Like, what do I do? How do I let everyone know that I didn't get that many kills and I fell off?
Myth, let's talk about what happened in this game.
I was gonna play the high ground.
Ele editou.
And then... Yeah, so we got into a little skirmish, and then off the side of the hill, I like encountered one of the rarest bugs in the game, which is like when you make an edit or like build something, it will just fling you off. And so that happened, and it was really unfortunate.
Despite the anticlimactic nature of the Las Vegas tournament, one poor performance wasn't going to be enough for Myth to completely lose his status in the community. In fact, he continued to grow at speed, and in the month of April would average 35,000 viewers, whilst gaining 700,000 followers, topping it all off by averaging 1 million views per upload on his YouTube channel. In May of 2018, Myth would move into the new TSM house. He was now under the same roof as his fellow Fortnite teammates, Hamlet and Adequado, and it would seem the failures of Las Vegas had been quickly forgotten, with Myth ending the month of May with his new personal best of 37,000 average concurrent viewers, a feet only ever achieved by an extremely small number of streamers. But as is often the case with creators, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And this month would prove to be the peak of Myth's streaming career.
Calma aí, deixa eu ver, ele falou, tem bagulho escrito aqui embaixo, velho. Tem que confiar, né, velho? Filho da puta foi um gênio, velho. 162 mil views, Omega Lu so bad. Ele só ficando puto com o jogo. Tem que confiar, velho. A meta de ser streamer é você se fuder e tiltar, velho. Mano, tá aí, velho. Ele mostrou, Não se paga a pau de ser melhorzinho, não, que você vai se fuder, velho. Você vai se fuder, velho. Joga bem, pode jogar bem pra caralho o jogo, mano. Mas tilta, velho. Chora, velho. Acostuma o seu público a mostrar quem é você. De verdade. Mano, tá meta aí, velho. Tá meta aí, velho. Esse maluco não cai, velho. O cara faz live aqui com 50k de cabeça, vai se foder, velho. Você é louco, velho.
And in the months following, cracks would slowly begin to show.
Você é louco, esse filho da puta.
Following his lackluster performance at Las Vegas and the continuing emergence of new star players,
aí, ó.
The Fortnite community.
Aí, ó, o topo Tifu, aí chegou um novo, Mongrel, acabou. Mas o Mongrel tá até hoje, né? Só joga essa porra, velho.
Ask questions in regards to the skill of Myth.
Também teve que começar a entrar no campeonato, né?
As good as everyone thought. Fortnite was no longer an underground game, and most
se Minecraft tivesse campeonato mesmo valendo dinheiro, você acha que eu tava aqui também?
Players had spent at least a couple months playing at this point. Thus, the skill gap was beginning to close fast. Whilst a few months prior, the average player base had no comprehension of how to build and struggled to even get a single win, players were now beginning to catch up to the skill and knowledge held by the early adopters of the game, such as Myth. Long gone were the days where Myth would consistently run into players who had considerably less knowledge of the game than himself that he could easily outplay, and people were taking notice. A post was made on the first...
Mas é óbvio, pô. Ele aprendeu primeiro e agora começou a entender. Ele só era bom porque ninguém sabia jogar. Caralho, mas ele aprendeu jogando antes de todo mundo, caralho. Respeito humano, porra. Vocês eram os batata burro, estúpido, que precisa de tutorial no YouTube, o cara não precisou não, mano. Respeito, filho da puta, mano. Você é louco, velho.
titled, Is
TSM de aulazinho, o cara não precisou de aulazinha nenhuma, velho.
Most overrated
tá ligado? É isso que o maluco também não respeita,
with one Redditor commenting, he was the first to master building super quickly and was the best builder in the game for a while until everyone caught up. People just remember when he used to be amazing.
As pessoas não aprenderam sozinho não, velho. Everyone caught up. Caralho, velho. Aí, ó, que eu falei lá no tutorial que ele fez. O tutorial ali lá atrás que mostrou que ele fez de construção foi a culpa própria dele. É culpa dele que ensinou as crianças aí, ó. Aí depois o cara chega e manda o Reddit aqui, ó. Toma. Toma aí, ó.
Just remember when
vai, ensina os filhos da puta. Faz tutorial aí pras crianças agora. Toma.
Just a week later, another viewer of Myths would write, Is TSM Myth really good enough for a pro team? A 17% win percentage and a 4.72 KD this season is just not good enough for competitive play, but he is somehow the team leader for one of the biggest teams within Fortnite. Whilst the 17% win rate and 4.72 KD was far greater than what the vast majority of players could hold, it was nowhere near good enough for someone to be labeled as the best in the world. But how could Myth's skill level fall so drastically, so quickly? Well, as proven by Myth and Ninja, being the best Fortnite players in the world came with unfathomable riches. Thus, the competition when competing at the highest level got more and more competitive.
E o 4x3, o 4x3 era pica, né? O 4x3 era bizarro, velho. Esse moleque era doente, mano.
At the highest level,
até hoje,
got
né,
more and more competitive. And of course,
aí a criancinha de 10 anos de idade. Hoje o moleque que eu cheguei a ver a live dele lá com o Speed, o moleque agora é um, porra, academia, o caralho é 4, né, mano? Olha como é uma boleta de queijo, velho. Você é louco, velho. Deve comer Doritos se meter. Nossa, é louco, o dedinho tava foda. Nossa, doublegando essa porra era absurdo. Oh, esse kit aqui era absurdo, velho. Esse kit. Pô, esse jogo era bom, hein, mano. Ô, esse jogo era bom, né? Por que não volta, velho? Desse jeito mesmo, foda-se.
Level.
Com. Porra, a Turbo Building veio aí já? Não lembro.
More competitive. And of course, with an ever-growing player base, it was only natural more competition was going to arise. For the first time, viewers' eyes were straying from Ninja and Myth and onto other emerging new players who were starting to show talent arguably far greater than Myth and Ninja
Fortnite, deixa lá e é isso, velho.
While Smith had the occasional comedic moments in his content and a likable personality, there was no denying that the main reason people came to watch his stream was because of his gameplay. People wanted to see the best Fortnite player in the world. And whilst this demand was fruitful, when Myth was regarded as the best in the game, there was always the risk that if he were to fall down the ranks, his viewership would be in huge trouble. Other players were playing better than him, getting more kills, building faster, winning more games. Myth could no longer provide the best gameplay available for viewers to consume. So naturally, his audience would slowly lose interest. Myth's build battles from just a few months prior that were jaw-dropping were no longer even remotely impressive. And with the addition of turbo building to the game, an update which gave controller players far greater capabilities when building, more and more players were able to build at a level previously made viral. Myth was...
Aí, ó, aqui acabou, velho. Aqui acabou o jogo, velho. Aqui acabou o jogo. Aí que acabou já. Que já era endgame. Você é louco. Você é louco, velho. Não, eu fazia também. Não tô negando que eu fazia, mas... Acabou, velho. Aí que acabou, velho.
Had previously made Myth go viral. Myth was slowly beginning to lose his status amongst the Fortnite competitive community, and for the first time since bursting onto the scene in late 2018, Myth would see a decrease in his average viewers on Twitch, averaging 29,000 concurrent viewers and gaining 518,000.
Pelo que eu lembro do Myth, beleza, o Fortnite ele parou de jogar Fortnite, mas ele fazia muita view contra os jogos, mano. Tipo, 10 mil pessoas, 11, 12 mil pessoas é coisa pra caralho, não é não, velho? Agora, chegar a 60, eu não sei por que não, na real. Até hoje eu não sei. Eu nunca vi nenhum drama dele.
New followers. The fact that these numbers could be considered a down month just goes to show how astronomical Myth's success was. But as Myth's viewers were slowly decreasing, there was another player whose followers and viewers were shooting up at intense speed. Tfue. Whilst previously the debate was always whether Myth or Ninja was the best player in the world, Myth wasn't performing at a high enough level.
O Tfue era pica, mano, porque ele era tão cleanzinho. Ele jogava tão cleanzinho, velho. Ele não acelerava, ficava girando a tela pra caralho, que nem os molequinhos, tá ligado? Ele era cleanzinho, matava os molequinhos, mano, tryhardão, mano. Ele só jogava lentinho e, mano, era absurdo, velho. Esse moleque era
was no longer in the conversation for the best player in the world.
Mas também já era muito bom em outros jogos, né, mano?
CODIGO as the new rival to Ninja. Seeing this shift in attention, on July 3rd, Myth would take advantage of what could be considered a negative and collaborate with Tfue, a collaboration that would go on to be his biggest video of all time. The video consisted of the two battling in a new game mode released on Fortnite called Playground Mode. A mode that would turn out to be one of the most impactful updates that would ever grace the game. The mode allowed players to create their own private lobbies, where they could play with unlimited building resources. Prior to this update, if a player wanted to practice their building, they would have to spend huge amounts of time in an actual public game farming materials, and they were always at the risk of being killed. Now all of a sudden, players could spam builds for hours on end. This feature would see a dramatic increase in the skill level of the most dedicated players to the game, which naturally created more and more competition for Myth and the wider player base. However, Myth was still a force to be reckoned with, proven by a video released to his YouTube channel on July 29th that amassed 7 million views. Along with this, Myth had managed to slow the decline of his Twitch channel, with him averaging around the same concurrent viewers as the month prior, and would actually have an increase in followers gained, adding another 580,000 to his Twitch follower count. With this large addition of new followers, a week later, Myth would become the second most followed streamer on Twitch of all time. And in this month of August, for the first time in a while, Myth would begin to take interest in other games than Fortnite, and would stream and upload content of him playing Rainbow Six Siege to his YouTube and Twitch. This was definitely a gamble, considering Myth's audience had almost entirely come from his Fortnite streams. However, the video would perform well on his YouTube channel, amassing over 1 million views. Perhaps Smith saw the writing on the wall in terms of the longevity of his Fortnite career. Considering the increase in competition, maybe his new growth strategy to become...
Ó o clipeiras que vem! Tem que confiar, o melhor clipe da Twitch.
Considering the increase in competition, maybe his...
Ah, mano, esses malucos eram gênio, velho. Não dá, velho. Não, eu vou ter que achar agora. Isso é louco, esse clipe é o melhor que tem, velho. Mentira que ele viu atualmente. Ah, não, não.
Time to throw others, XUCL, time to throw pop jump, 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 XUCL, pop jump.
É o grito agora.
Zoomers LU title screen button.
Can you shut the fuck up?
Sério, velho. Tá muito troll melhor, mano. Can you shut the fuck up? Não dá. Ó, esse clipe não dá, velho. Ó, caralho, esse clipe é muito bom, mano. Ó, esse clipe aqui é uma obra-prima, mano.
His new growth strategy would be to become a variety streamer.
Ó.
But it's hard to tell considering the video was in fact sponsored. Perhaps Smith was just securing the bag for a couple of days before returning to Fortnite. But it didn't seem like a one-off, as once again, Myth would show his intent to play games other than Fortnite, and would stream and upload content on Battlefield 5. However, this was also sponsored. Interestingly, the Battlefield 5 content would not be as well received as his Rainbow Six gameplay, with the video posted to his YouTube getting just 240,000 views, which was a large decrease in viewership compared to his Fortnite content. And on Twitch, it was much worse, as his Battlefield stream would only get a max viewer count of 6,000, which was a huge drop compared to his Fortnite streams. Whilst expected, it wasn't exactly a good...
Pra stream nunca foi, mano, Battlefield. Nunca foi, mano. Pior que foi difícil, velho. Tem uns que ia, né? No Brasil era o Zigueira, mas tinha um outro lá, o gringo lá, eu esqueci o nome dele. Mas o... Oi? Sim, deixa ele aí, ele tá de boa. Eu tirei ele do quarto, senão ele ia ficar enchendo o saco que eu tô em live. De onde você acha? Pelo banheiro, né? Mas o... Tinha um cara lá, um gringão também. O Battlefield nunca funcionou pra live, mano. Até hoje, né?
Had long term.
Shroud também fazia as lives de Battlefield, que era legal, mas era só no lançamento e a galera
aspirations of playing other games on stream and Fortnite. With that said, Myth would end the month of August once again in decline, and whilst the month prior he managed to maintain his 28,000 average concurrent viewers, in August that number would fall to 19,000. If this were a normal situation, that would of course be a super impressive number. However, in the context of Myth, he had managed to lose practically 50% of his Twitch average audience in just 3 months, and all of a sudden, the graph of his growth was stooping down menacingly. But it got worse, as just 1 month later, in September 2018, Myth's average viewers had been cut in half once again, from 19,000 average viewers to 10,000, and people were taking notice. And on the 20th of September, a somewhat infamous creator known as Exility would post a video to his channel titled "The Mistake That Cost Myth His Career." In the video, he would discuss the sharp decline in Myth's viewership and followers, citing the failures of the Las Vegas event, the emergence of new players such as Tfue, and Myth playing games other than Fortnite, all as to reasons as why he thinks Myth is on the decline.
If you would have told me that Myth would start streaming games other than Fortnite anytime soon, I probably never would have believed you. But I think in the long run, making sponsored videos and doing sponsored streams for games that aren't Fortnite could hurt him. If you're known for something, whether it's a game or a style of video, and then you totally change it up, not as many people are going to be drawn in. So taking his social media presence down the path of variety gaming could be very dangerous for him.
All of a sudden, Myth's declining statistics were brought to the forefront of people's minds, as this video would go on to gain an extreme amount of attention with over 8 million views, and viewers began to leave their own opinions in the comments. It's simple, his career was based on Fortnite. Myth's career didn't stick the landing.
Nossa, que isso.
Around this time, Myth decided to...
Cê é louco, moleque que entra num comentário pra escrever isso tem que ir de now, velho. Cê é louco, velho. Oh, cê é louco, mano.
Landing.
Jesus, velho.
Around this time, Myth decided to try a new style of content on his YouTube channel and would release his first vlog. And it was a hit, with 6 million views vastly eclipsing his other gaming content at the time. A trend that would continue for his following vlog releases that month. This was a huge win for Myth. It's not uncommon for content creators to be carried by the games that they play, but Myth was showing that his audience were actually more interested in him and his personality than that of his Fortnite gameplay, which would have been a huge relief, I'm sure, considering his recent decline on Twitch. However, despite Myth's YouTube channel picking up once again, the same couldn't be said for his stream. Perhaps taking note of Exility's criticism, Myth had gone back to streaming almost entirely Fortnite, and only occasionally would play other games on stream. However, it wasn't exactly working out well, as despite devoting himself to Fortnite, Myth's viewers would start to fall sharply once again, and by mid-2019, he was now averaging under 5,000 viewers per stream. Whilst this would still make Myth one of the biggest streamers on the platform, and most streamers would be ecstatic with this kind of audience, I doubt Myth was particularly happy with these numbers, considering that it had been just 1 year since his peak in May 2018, and he'd managed to lose almost 90% of his audience. Things were changing in all aspects of Myth's life, and around this time, he would find himself moving into a brand new TSM Fortnite house. And whilst you would expect this to be a positive change, allowing Myth to freshen up his content, there was a big problem. His iconic teammates and fan favourites, Daquan and Hamlins, were nowhere to be seen. It would seem the good old days were over, and while Myth was still playing Fortnite regularly on stream, if there was any doubt left he wasn't an elite player anymore, it was completely gone. Proven when Myth would have a 1v1 battle with an emerging 14-year-old pro player, Clicks, and let's just say Myth got destroyed. But despite Myth's obvious decline in skill, he managed to maintain his 5,000 average viewers on Twitch, and was still gaining tens of thousands of followers per month. People probably weren't watching him anymore for his gameplay ability. It was obvious he was no longer the best in the game, so boasting those kind of numbers from personality is massively impressive. Whilst maintaining his audience was good news, Myth hadn't seen any considerable upwards growth to his Twitch audience since bursting onto the scene in 2018, and with Fortnite only getting less fresh and less popular, maybe playing just that on stream wasn't such a good idea anymore. And with that said, Myth would start mixing in other games alongside Fortnite on his streams, and it was working. as Myth would finally see positive growth for his Twitch, ending the year of 2019 with an average of 8,000 viewers. Despite the growth, it still seemed
Mano, quer ver? Que na real ele tá com 60 pessoas porque ele foi pro YouTube lá, que eu lembro que ele foi contratado pelo YouTube lá. Qual era lá a galera indo pro YouTube? Quem foi pro YouTube? Foi ele, o Dr. Lupo, o Tinder Tatman, o Dr. Despect. Ele começou a comprar um monte, mano. É só por isso, mano. Que o maluco gostava mais de ver ele na Twitch, mano. Aí, sei lá, foi só...
could ever get back to the level of viewership and status that he once held during his peak. But that was until April 2020, when Myth...
que o Dr. e o Tinder Tatman... Ah, mas é porque os caras jogam juntos sempre, né? Mas o Dr. Lupo também não se vê mais, né?
Huge risk, and for the entire month, would barely play Fortnite, streaming the game just 5 times for the entire month, instead of focusing himself on a new game, Valorant. And Myth pushing Fortnite aside for Valorant would prove to pay off nicely, and his viewers would rapidly rise 5x from the previous month, seeing him average 32,000 live concurrent viewers in April, alongside gaining 600,000 followers. It would seem Myth didn't need to stick to just Fortnite after all. It had been almost 2 years since he had this kind of viewership, and with Fortnite declining in popularity, maybe Valorant was the new gold mine. But unfortunately, the following month would see Myth's average viewers fall back down to 9,000, similar to his previous average from months past. However, there were huge positives to be taken from this. Myth had barely played Fortnite since the release of Valorant's beta, and interestingly, even after the initial burst of hype of Valorant's release, he was still averaging the same, if not more viewers than he was getting a couple months prior.
É porque eu acho que a live do Myth é mais estilas, né, mano?
Around this time, Myth would
live
release a video
estilas é complicado, tipo family friend. O Dr. Spect é diferente, é porque o Dr. Spect realmente é um personagemzão tiltadão, fala merda e foda-se, tá ligado? E eu achei ele com o Tinder Tatman ficar muito engraçado, a galera gosta de ver a doideira deles, porque eles não são bons em porra nenhuma, velho. Tá ligado? O Dr. é bom no H1 e no PUBG, mas porra, hoje não tem mais como. E tipo, mano, eu acho que por ele ser muito tileiras e só era bom pra caralho e... Tinha assim os momentos engraçados dele, mas não era tipo um personagemzão de maluco de falar merda, tá ligado? Que nem o Dr. Eu acho que a galera não se interessou pra ir pro YouTube não, tá ligado? Se ele tivesse continuando na Twitch, mesmo que tipo não ia conseguir a grana na zona bizarra que o YouTube dá, né? Que eu comecei a encontrar no YouTube inicial quando eu tinha lá, até colocou os brasileiros, era bem grande, maior que o próprio Facebook. O cara só quis pegar o dinheirão, mano, tá ligado? E a galera não foi atrás, não.
The current state of Fortnite, hinting at how disappointed he had become with the game as of recent. And for the next 3 months, Myth will continue predominantly playing Valorant and
Se ele tivesse na Twitch, ele continuaria tendo umas
Maybe
6,
Myth
7,
didn't
8
need
mil,
Fortnite anymore.
9 mil.
And his statistics were backing that statement.
Se ele voltar pra Twitch,
On the 22nd of July, he would stream Fortnite, 9,000 max viewers. The next day, he would stream Valorant, 23,000 max viewers. Myth no longer enjoyed the game, and he didn't need to force himself to play it to maintain the success of his career. And for the next half a year, his viewers were holding strong without it. Myth would play a variety of games, and instead of falling off, he actually would start growing, jumping on the trend of Fall Guys, Among Us, and eventually Rust, would prove to be a great choice for Myth, and he would consistently see upwards growth until January 2021, when he would average 21,000 live viewers for the month, with a handful of particularly successful Rust streams.
Sendo que o Summit pega essa quantidade até hoje, velho. Ninguém fala do Summit pegando 80 mil pessoas, 90 mil pessoas no SOT, quando teve o bagulho lá do baú lá da Atena, que ele roubava deitado, que era muito foda. Pô, era muito pica, mano. Pô, era muito da hora ver essa porra. Era o melhor conteúdo do Twitch do mano de anos era essa porra. Ele deitado no barco, os caras falando no microfone, ele roubando os Atena, tá ligado? E aí depois que passou o hype, ele voltou às 15 mil cabeças que ele tem até hoje, velho. Tô entendendo, mano. Certeza, eu tenho certeza que o final do vídeo vai ser porque ele foi pro YouTube.
71,000 max viewers. 9th of January, 74,000.
Caralho.
Myth had now reached absurdly high levels of viewership on 3 different games in 3 different years. This is not normal. Myth was living the dream. He could play seemingly whatever game he pleased, while still being one of the biggest streamers in the world, and was now blowing up again. Maybe Exility was wrong after all. Maybe Myth did make the right choice to pursue variety content. In fact, it seems Myth's choice to play other games on stream than Fortnite was actually beneficial to him, not detrimental. Myth had proven the doubters wrong, but things can change fast in this industry, and the following month would see Myth's average viewers rapidly fall from 21,000 to 6,000. And whilst in the past, Myth would bounce back from moments like this, unfortunately, this time would prove to be the beginning of a consistent decline in viewership that would continue from here onwards. Around this time, Myth would start to see his subscriber count on YouTube begin to rapidly fall, losing over 10,000 subscribers in most months. The same would happen with his Twitter, also bleeding thousands of followers. And on Instagram, he had lost around 50,000 followers every single month of 2021 so far. His YouTube content had become more and more varied, and he was now struggling to reach 20,000 views on videos. Even the fan favorite vlogs, which used to frequently attract millions of viewers, seemed to have lost their audience. But did Myth actually care? Maybe not. No. He clearly enjoyed being a variety creator, and of course, with masses of wealth, he didn't need to be concerned by the numbers. And ultimately, Myth was a Twitch streamer. That's what really mattered, and he was still gaining new followers in almost every stream. However, 8 months later, in October 2021, Myth's average viewers per stream had now fallen to 3,000, the lowest since the early days of Fortnite, almost 4 years ago. Despite a consistent decrease in average viewers, Myth would still have the occasional huge stream. One day he could be streaming to 2,600 max
vai se
viewers.
foder, esse jogo era pra ter servidor BR, velho. Ai, que desgraça, velho. Esse jogo é muito bom, mano. Tinha que ter o servidor BR nesse caralho, velho. É que nem a porra do The Finals, mano.
Still have the occasional huge stream. One day he could be streaming to 2,600 max viewers. The next day, 105,000. It's safe to say his viewership was very sporadic at this time. Things weren't exactly looking promising, with Myth having a wildly inconsistent audience, heavily varied content, and a stream that would continue to stagnate for the following months. It would seem that Myth was slowly falling to obscurity, and wouldn't be making any headlines anytime soon. But that was until July 2022, when Myth would make a decision that would drastically change the future of his career as a streamer, signing a deal with YouTube that would see him streaming exclusively on their platform with YouTube Gaming, thus abandoning his Twitch channel. Myth had made arguably the most important decision a big streamer would ever make in regards to their career, stay on Twitch or sign to it.
O conteúdo depende do carisma, tipo... Eu acho que a live dele era muito chilas, mano. A galera não vai querer atrás de uma live chilas em outra plataforma, tá ligado? O cara vai abrir a live chilas na plataforma que o cara já acompanha há muito tempo também, tá ligado? Tem que fazer... Oi! Tem, ele já comeu tudo. Todo. Todo, mãe. Eu coloquei mais, ele comeu porque ele quer mais? Tô, mãe.
A competitor on a lucrative exclusivity deal, and Myth had chosen YouTube Gaming over Twitch. His announcement would generate massive buzz on Twitter, with over 120,000 likes on his announcement tweet. News of the announcement would make its way to Reddit, and viewers were quick to give their opinions. Good move for him, chance at a fresh start as his viewership has stagnated. Even if it doesn't work out, still gets a large amount of money. Bag secured. I remember him saying in offline chats that streaming isn't for him anymore. It's interesting to see YouTube signing Myth. His stream is not what it used to be numbers-wise. He went from 7 to 8k average viewers to 3k in the last months. Seemed like his Twitch career...
Sério, mano. Agora eu fico pensando de verdade. O maluco se importa muito com view. É o que eu falo pra vocês. Os malucos... Caralho, uma coisa que eu vejo de público, velho. Atualmente na internet, os caras entram numa live se preocupando com a quantidade de pessoa que tem na porra da live em vez de ver a porra da live, velho. Essa porra é até hoje, velho. O cara não olha pra live, ele olha, caralho, essa live tem 50 mil, vou ficar aqui, pô, tem 50 mil, tô chilas. Ah, essa live tem, pô, essa live tinha 1000, mano, agora tem 20, mano. É, foda-se, deve ter mudado alguma coisa, eu não vou ver, foda-se, tá ligado? O maluco se preocupa muito com a quantidade de view dos outros streamers, mano. E não chegar e assistir a porra do bagulho, tá ligado? Tem esse ponto também, mano.
Was dying, so good move. Myth is a much bigger brand name than his actual views. He averages around 3k.
Às vezes o público mesmo só quer olhar pro hype, passou de um hype pra outro. Então vai pra o cara tá assistindo lá, fazendo os bagulho hype, tá da hora, depois meio que cansou o hype daquele tipo de conteúdo e vão pra outro e foda-se, mano. Tá ligado? Mas, mano, o maluco se preocupa muito com as views de outro streamer, mano. Em vez de assistir a porra da live.
Twitch. So Twitch is no reason to pay him big for exclusivity when there are thousands of streamers who bring more people to the platform. And for YouTube, he's a brand name people like/know, even if they don't watch him. Win-win for everyone. Despite Myth's consistent decline in viewership and followers on his various social medias, he had managed to secure the bag yet again. Whilst I can't find exactly how much this deal was worth, It's common knowledge in the industry how lucrative these exclusive streamer deals are, and it was very likely that Myth was walking away with his pockets multiple millions of dollars, if not tens of millions of dollars heavier after signing with YouTube. But whilst the money was going to be huge, there's always a catch, and it was no secret that moving from Twitch to YouTube gaming was a challenge. Despite its many flaws, Twitch was undeniably the home of live streaming, and around this time boasted a 75.6% of all live stream viewership online. Twitch's live viewers dwarfed that of YouTube gaming's. So naturally, when big Twitch streamers would move from Twitch to YouTube, they would often see a considerable dip in viewers. And well, as you would expect, that happened. After an initial spark of interest, Myth would quickly fall from the spotlight, and less than a month after signing to YouTube, he would upload a video titled, "This is why I fell off," detailing the downfall of his career from his own perspective.
And I wanted to talk about what happened to my career. This is like a question that I get a lot. It's like, yo, what happened, Myth? Why do you have this many viewers at this point versus this point? What is going on? This is the Fortnite era. This is our peak. We come down. Genuinely, I think the main contributors to this were me not being able to keep up, hold that position as being the Fortnite guy and being like successful and competitive. As you guys know, like I got a pretty laughable competitive history in Fortnite. I didn't do well. And there are a lot of things that have to do with that. You know, one of them being, I was young, man. I was 18 when all this was going on. I was super young, 18 or 19. And I was arrogant, you know, I got cocky, I had all this success, and I was like, I'm the man, you know, I'm doing this, I'm doing it my way. But when that happens, if you're in a position where like, you're just an arrogant ass teenager, and you're getting all this success, it's gonna be easy for that success to slip out of your hands, I feel like, if you're not genuinely looking at yourself in the mirror and being like, hey, how could I improve? Who should I be listening to? How could I get help to keep this going? And that's kind of who I was. That's like a personality flaw in me though. I never wanted help. I never wanted to have to rely on somebody else for the answers. I genuinely think if I was a little bit less arrogant, was more accepting to help, I probably would have not had this decline that we see here throughout, you know, August, September, into early 2019. But with that being the case, we have
Mas
declined.
Aí tem a questão, né, mano? Você demonstra muito fofinho, né? Muito legal. Aí você demonstra mais o seu lado verdadeiro. As pessoas ficam, caramba. Não dá, velho. Por isso que eu prefiro live no foda-se, velho. Você é louco.
Viewership. It happened. I had a really rough time dealing with, you know, the public, words and public perspective and being someone in this industry you know, at the caliber that I was. There were a lot of people that have their opinions.
Você tem que se mostrar como você é mesmo, né, mano? Você tiltando, qualquer coisa. Mas aí tem que tomar cuidado. Tem coisas que você não pode ficar falando, tá ligado? Coisas que você não pode ser, mano. Aí fodeu, tá ligado? Aí você sabe qual que é, né? Tem a linha também. Mas, mano, todo mundo tem que chegar e meter o louco, se mostrar que você tilta com o jogo, você ficar bravo com certas situações, ficar puto com comentário e foda-se, mano. Se você não mostrar se você não demonstra essa porra desde o day one, mano, você vai se fuder lá pra frente, tá ligado? E é por isso que o X até hoje é o maior que tem, mano. Ele só não é o maior do Twitch agora porque ele agora tá na Kick, mano. Mas é isso, velho. E é por isso que ele é o streamer que é mais. Que vale mais em toda a empresa, mano. Tá ligado? Porque a empresa, a porra da indústria sabe que ele, tipo, vai levar os meus manos, não importa o que ele faça, porque ele já demonstra como ele é faz muito tempo, mano. Por isso que ele é caro, velho.
Try to not let it get to you. It got to me, man. There were a lot of moments where I would be sitting, staring at the go live button, and I would just cry. I would really break down because I knew that right as soon as I go live, I was gonna get it on. I was gonna be told to myself. I was going to be told that I'm worthless and that I should quit. I'm still greatly appreciative to the success that I had and the success that I still have. Without my past, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. And I genuinely think going through the highs and the lows genuinely made me a better person at the end of the day. Having everything and then getting it taken away from you, or not taken away from you, but like you losing it at your own hand is such a humbling experience. And I am kind of happy that it happened. That was our past, but now we're here and I'm done looking at the past. Moving over to YouTube is something that happened recently. That entire transition for me honestly feels like I'm hitting a reset button. I've had all this success and everything, but now I get to really work from the ground up and rebuild the community that I feel like I never got the opportunity to build. A lot of the people that watch me for Fortnite, and maybe you're someone that was there in the past watched me because I was the Fortnite guy. I was crazy, I was cracked at the game or whatever. But a lot of people then didn't necessarily watch me for who I was or were there long enough to learn about who I was.
Viewers were quick to show their support and appreciation for Myth in the comments of this video. This is a really mature video. I can't imagine how painful it would be to do an introspective like this. Hope you have a great success in the future. Maybe things weren't so bad after all, and well, Myth had achieved most creators' dreams. With his spell as one of the biggest streamers in the world and his lucrative YouTube deal, Myth could stream without the pressure of money playing on his mind constantly. He could do whatever he wanted with his content, which leads us to December 2022, when Myth would have his debut as an influencer boxer, taking part in Ludwig's highly anticipated
Ele amassou nesse, não amassou? Eu tô ligado.
The event was held in front of a live audience of 10,000 fans, with more than 500,000 people watching at home. The stakes were high, and with past memories of Las Vegas 2018, with viewers claiming Myth couldn't take the pressure, he had a lot to prove. And well, he was brilliant. Myth would defeat his opponent, and viewers were heaping praise towards him. Great fight, Myth was a beast. Myth was an absolute tank. I was proud of Myth and I hope he continues his boxing career. Perhaps boxing was the new way forward for Myth. After all, there's huge money and viewership in the business, and judging from his debut, Myth looked like he could be one of the best influencer boxers around if he put the work in. Eventually he would return home and react to his boxing match in a video that would vastly outperform his other content. But then the dust would settle, and it was back to gaming. Or was it? On March 9, 2023, Myth would upload a much different video than usual.
Quem lembra, rapaziada? Eu entrando na mesma partida no fax e ele ficando puto pra caralho. Pô, chutadaço, mano. Cê é louco. Eu lembro dessa porra.
And it was back to gaming.
Ele ficou puto,
was
mano.
It? On March 9, 2023, Myth would upload a much different video than usual, where he would express his desire to take his content in a new direction moving forward.
For a long time, I didn't know.
Que você quer, cara? Ó, sai de perto de mim, mano. Sai de perto de mim. Eu zoando. Você é louco. Aí depois eu sou tiltado. Eu sou tiltado aqui. Você é louco.
Content I wanted to make after Fortnite and after Valorant. I want to move
e depois
to
eles descobrem que sou eu. Não sabia que era minha voz. Ah, pelo amor de Deus. Era no fax. Você mostra eu sou filho da puta.
Me a little bit more happy. I've come to the conclusion that I want to help
Quem é você? Sai daqui, caralho.
Creators of the world have the knowledge that I have. Throughout the next few months or so, you guys will start seeing some content uploaded to the channel that just me sitting down.
Alguém tem esse clipe, mano? Depois manda esse clipe, procura aí, mano, por favor, velho.
Dissecting and going over certain topics that will help you in your journey as a creator.
The video following this lived up to Myth's statements of intent for change, and instead of his usual gaming content, it was much more serious and mature, where Myth would sit down and talk to the camera for 10 minutes, giving tips on what he feels upcoming creators need to succeed in the current landscape of content creation. It would seem Myth was about to head down an entirely new path of his content, but that wasn't the case. Following his advice video, Myth would revert back to his old ways and continue to post more gaming highlights and vlogs.
Sincerão, essa thumb aqui tá chique, velho. Essa thumb tá boa, velho, muito boa. Caralho, foi o Jumbo que fez?
Viewership remained sporadic. One video would hit 100k views, the next would barely break 10k. But that wouldn't stop Myth, and he would continue to upload and stream frequently. However, despite his consistency,
isso que é o foda, meu manos olham muito pra número, velho. A internet hoje em dia olha muito pra número, achando que, tipo, é o fim do mundo, velho. O cara fez um 100k de view, outro foi 9. Foda-se. É isso, porra, é a vida, mano. Você acha que todo mundo é a porra do Ecstasy, do PewDiePie, do MrBeast, mano? Que é view todo dia, view pra caralho, infinito. Pra sempre. Não, porra.
Further and further, and his YouTube channel wouldn't see a
single tem, mano, não tem um vídeo do Ninja, não? O Ninja também morreu, velho.
month of growth.
Final Fantasy, ele falou, mano, cansei de jogar o jogo forçado. Aí Final Fantasy, ele começou a jogar os jogos que ele gosta de jogar, aí ele viu que fudeu, aí ele voltou pro Fortnite, aí tá aí.
Streaming full-time on the platform for over a year. In fact, he was often losing tens of thousands of subscribers. Which brings us to October 2023, when Myth's viewership would reach all-time lows. By this point, Myth's YouTube uploads were struggling to reach even 5,000 views. Numbers perhaps hard to fathom, considering Myth had 4.4 million subscribers and used to average over 1 million views per video. But surely his streams were doing better, right? Well, not exactly. By this point, Myth could often be seen streaming to an audience of under 100 people, with his chat essentially at a standstill and restricted to members only. things had changed a lot. Sure, YouTube had a smaller audience of live viewers than Twitch, so lower views were to be expected, but this was a far fall from the 3,000 viewers Myth was averaging.
Na verdade, eu acho que ainda é o contrário, mano. O alcance em geral, assim, de live eu sei que a Twitch é maior, mas o alcance em geral do YouTube é muito maior, mano. E o speed é a prova viva, pegando 100k toda hora, tá ligado? Só que você tem que estar paqueras, tá ligado? A live tem que ser muito... Ah, mano, é o que eu falei, velho. Eu acho que maluco não entende, mas eu acho que a era que tá chegando pra stream, ainda no Brasil ainda não chegou muito forte, é tipo live de maluco metendo louco e sendo quem é, mano, tá ligado? E sendo tipo, mano, falando merda, fazendo bosta pra caralho, tá ligado? Só que não naquela bosta, tem a linha, claro. Porque, mano, eu não sei se eu tô falando merda, mano, mas eu sinto cada vez mais que a gente tá chegando num nível que o maluco só quer ver uma live que é humano, velho, tá ligado? Porque tá cheio de personagem nessa porra e eu acho que nem o público tá aguentando mais, mano, de live, tá ligado? Não tá aguentando mais, mano. Eu acho que tá... Mano, falta pouquinho pra chegar nessa porra. Pra, tipo... Mano, vai estourar um maluco no BR, velho. Que o meu mano é só o foda-se simulator, tá ligado? E ele vai tá pegando 40k de cabeça, velho. Vai aparecer um cara aí. E, tipo assim... Metedor de louco. Tipo assim... Xinga tudo, foda-se. Mas, tipo assim, ele não é o doente que manda... Vocês estão ligados o que eu tô querendo dizer, né? Vocês estão ligados, não preciso nem falar. Mas só vai ser o meu mano, tá ligado? Ele vai jogar qualquer porra, falar as merda dele, tiltar com o joguinho e todo mundo vai estar curtindo, tá ligado? Eu acho que ainda vai bater.
At this point,
um V2 aqui no BR dessa porra. Alguém vai spawnar aí. E não vai ser Celpt, não vai ser Alan, porque, mano, os meus manos ainda se privam muito de falar um monte de coisa, senão fudeu. Porque meus manos têm as fanbase bizarras. Então, tipo assim, vai spawnar um mano, velho. Vai spawnar, tipo, real, o cara que vai, tipo, tá aí, vai começar a tá fazendo live aí, metendo louco no estilo dos meus manos, aí do gringão, e, tipo, ele vai conseguir conquistar, tá ligado? Uma comunidade, tipo, que é o sonho de qualquer um até hoje, que eu acho que no BR ainda não tem, velho. O cara só fala qualquer bosta, joga qualquer bosta, faz o que quiser e meus manos estão assistindo, tá ligado? E tem um chat bizarro falando merda e se divertindo. Eu não acho que é o... Tipo assim, o Snoopy, tem a comunidade dele maluco, mas não é o Snoopy porque o Snoopy ainda ele passa dessa linha. Ele já mete o louco. Ele sabe bem disso que eu já falei pra ele. Mas eu acho que ainda vai aparecer um mano que vai ser, tipo, vibe do X, de comunidade do X. Tipo, não de chat mais, mas, tipo... Vai poder jogar o que quiser, vai poder falar do jeito, meter o louco e ter a opinião que quiser. E, tipo, o maluco vai cancelar ele no Twitter, mas ele vai continuar tendo muita gente na live. E os caras vão acompanhar, tá ligado?
What happened? 5 years ago, Myth was the second biggest streamer in the world, the leader of the TSM Fortnite team, gaining hundreds of thousands of followers per month on Twitch, and at one point could be seen streaming to 165,000 live viewers. How could Myth go from such heights to streaming to such a small amount of people? It seemed Myth had checked out of the streaming game. He was playing what he wanted, and clearly wasn't optimizing his stream for growth. Surely, it was only a matter of time before Myth's viewership would fall to zero. Well, that certainly wasn't the case, as on October 27th, Fortnite would make a huge announcement, revealing that the game would be going back to its original roots, rolling back the clock to 2018, with the release of Fortnite OG, scheduled for the 3rd of November, and Myth was ready for the nostalgia hit, and on release day, would stream the game to his audience. And of course, with Myth being one of the most iconic players of the early days of Fortnite, Myth's viewership would skyrocket, and he could be seen streaming to at least 3,000 live viewers, with his chat opened back up to the general audience. Alongside this, Myth's first upload on Fortnite OG would quickly amass over 400,000 views, and his channel would finally see positive growth, with him gaining over 20,000 subscribers in just 2 weeks. But Myth didn't indulge himself in the numbers, and whilst he could have dedicated himself to Fortnite OG and continued inflating his audience, Myth would quickly push the game aside and play the new Call of Duty release on stream, and his viewership would quickly come falling down once again. And it would seem Myth's growth would be short-lived, and he was happy to go back to playing a variety of games that he enjoys, even if it meant his viewership would likely suffer. But even if Myth's viewers were to fall to
sabe o que eu tô olhando até agora? É esse daqui, mano. Emote Experience on YouTube. Eu acho que ele deve ter o 70 no YouTube, mano. Ninguém deve usar, mano. Deve ser, tipo, bem ok, vai ser, tipo, mano... E eu tô olhando essa porra até agora, essa porra desse ok do caralho aqui, velho.
In the coming months, it's important
não deve funcionar de nenhuma forma, mano. Não deve ter um ser humano no YouTube que deve ter dessa porra.
Streamers of all
time. Chat,
in all of streaming history, there's very few people who have ever streamed to the size of audiences that Myth has, or generated the amount of wealth that he has in this industry. From riding the unprecedented hype train of Fortnite, Myth was always going to be fighting an uphill battle, maintaining his success. After all, where else is there to go when you're this far at the top? And while Smith could have played it safe and continued to play Fortnite for the rest of his streaming career, holding a more consistent audience, he stayed true to himself and his aspirations of being a variety streamer despite the risks. Whilst I'm sure there may be times when Myth finds himself looking over to his second monitor, looking at the number of viewers watching, wondering how things changed so dramatically from those years ago, at the end of the day, I'm sure Myth laughs it off, sits back, and remembers just how much he's achieved. And then reminds himself that even if his viewers were to fall to zero, he'd still be one of the highest paid streamers in the world, thanks to his YouTube contract. Myth came, he saw, he conquered, and he secured the bag.
I had a lot of great times with this game, but man, I had a lot of dark times when it came to being in this industry and playing this game, bro, that I just don't even like thinking about. Really makes me fucking sad, bro. And like the main thing is like sometimes I get mad about it because I'm like, damn, bro, what should have been the greatest time of my life is unfortunately clouded with these dark memories. Like this real depression that I had over this game. And the only reality of it is, you know, I just had to be stronger as a young dude, you know, because the world isn't going to get softer for you. But obviously that's an unfair thing to ask an 18-year-old, you know. But there's a lot of learning, and I've learned a lot of great life lessons through this game. And I'm grateful for every trial and tribulation that I've gone through. Wouldn't change anything if I had to go back. Just telling you guys that, like, man, my fucking chest heavy. It's just memories, that's all. I'm in a great place right now. I'm glad I got to express that to you guys right now, because I don't think I've ever had an opportunity to express that the way that I've wanted to before. I don't wish for anything to be different. You must be good at hiding your emotions, because as fans, we never knew.
Hiding your emotion because...
I mean, listen, back then...
Não, eu sentia isso dele pouquinho.
I don't think anybody would have cared. That's the truth. That's what I told.
Mano, é isso que eu falo, velho. O maluco tá... Tipo assim, ninguém se importa, mano. Caralho, tipo, naquele momento ali, ninguém se importa, velho. Quem se importa, tipo, é que nem eu conversando sobre esses assuntos. Quem se importa é 30 pessoas que tem aqui na minha live, que realmente sempre tem 30, velho. Quando tá com um monte de gente ali, o maluco tá pouco se lixando, velho. Ô, foda-se, mano. Porque o ser humano, ó, foda-se pra qualquer um. E é isso, velho.
Told myself.
Foda-se, meu.
Because at the end of the day, I was
here. Mas eu entendo pra caralho ele, velho. Entendo pra caralho.
Here. This is where I was. What mattered back then was winning. That was it. Was being the best. And right as soon as I wasn't the absolute best, or arguably the best, it switched up. So then imagine if I would have came out and started talking about my emotions while people are already dogging me. Nah, bro. No. That's just, you're asking to get kicked while you're down, I think. So like I said, I wouldn't change anything. You want to know what means a lot more to me?
Mano. O cara tá falando, mano, o cara tá lendo minha mente mandando agora, foda-se.
You know, it's so full circle, man. I don't even know how many people we got watching right now, but I think it means a lot more telling it to you guys that are here right now, whatever amount of people that is, than it would have been to tell 20, 30,000 people that.
Acabei de falar isso.
Now
Tá louco, mano. Melhor eu desabafar dos bagulho de live, de internet aqui com assistente pessoa e falar, tá louco, mano. O resto aí tá cagando, velho. O maluco nem assiste minha live, ninguém se importa, mano. Meu mano quer... Como é que eu falei? O maluco se importa, mano. O maluco conversa sobre view, vê, o streamer tá caindo. Mano, você acha que meu mano vai se importar com, tipo, momento emotivo, tempos ruins, o que tá acontecendo e etc. Mano, não vai, velho. Não vai, velho. E é o que eu falei, mano. Muito desses públicos que tá pouco assistindo pra isso, mano, é meu mano que vai entrar numa live, tem muita gente, vai entrar numa trend, num hype e vai entrar num grupão, uma comunidade gigante que já tá grande, foda-se, tá ligado? Aí é o que tá cagando pro cara, velho.
I know you guys are really listening. So God bless y'all, man. Thank you for being here.
Porra, que triste o vídeo, velho.
I think tonight the one guy everybody's been waiting to see play is TSM Myth over here. Can I hear it in the house? How many of you guys are here waiting for Myth to do some domination tonight?
Do we have any Myth fans in the house?
Let's go, baby! Let's go!
Oh, not true.
Yeah!
GG, bro. Oh, you had me there. I choked my shot.
Not true. Ele botou na Twitch e já tá tudo certo.
He kept building up and building up and I couldn't catch him.
No! E aí, tipo assim, tá vendo esse bagulho do Summit aí? Ficando puto? Essa é a diferença da comunidade do Summit da dele naquela época. Que o maluco tá pouco se achando tudo que ele fala. Ou se ele tiltar, o maluco vai ficar puto. Porque é uma comunidade, mano, de hypezinho, de fanbasezinha, de o caralho a 4, tá ligado? Tipo assim, meu mano, deu uma merda com o bagulho do Summit, tá ligado? No SOT. Dele metendo o pau no SOT, tá ligado? Nos dev. Cadê? Deixa eu ver se ainda tem isso. Mano, cê é louco, mano. Ele falando muita merda. Mano, tipo, deu uma merda federal, mas o público não abandonou ele não, mano. Ele tilta pra caralho, fala um monte de bosta, que nem caralho de vários streamers. E tipo, mano, foda-se, porque ele acostumou o público a mostrar que é humano. Ele é assim e foda-se. Tá ligado? Tipo, mano, eu acho que é esse vídeo, velho.
About these guys on these PVs.
Olha lá.
No way. No way. My toxicity kind of is like normal. I don't think I have extreme toxicity.
Mano, é tipo assim, é uma pessoas de fora que querem, tipo, fuder o mano. E ele ficou puto com o bagulho, com as merdas que a porra da merda do SWAT faz, a Hair fez. Que até hoje é o que fez ficar o jogo hoje, como que tá. E tipo assim, o público em geral da comunidade dele dá foda-se, mano, tá ligado? Foda-se, velho.
The kind of respect that you would expect to be treated with yourself.
You idiot! I was gonna fucking leave your ship, you dumbass! Oh, God.
E tipo, mano, caralho, os caras, tipo, entrando na comunidade de fora, querendo meter o pau no cara. E, mano, ele demonstra isso desde o Day One, desde quando ele jogava DayZ, quando jogava CS. E toxicidade é isso, mano. E é por isso que eu falo, mano. Você pode, tipo, se prejudicado por ser tóxico, ou por falar merda, ou por ser você na live, mas é melhor você ser assim do que ser, tipo, mostrar um personagem ali e uma hora você vai soltar uma merda, tá ligado? E você vai se fuder, sacou? E foda-se, mano. Isso nem é toxicidade, ele só tá zoando os caras, tá ligado? Só que aí tem o bagulho dele xingando os dev.
Time to start silent.
Os dev fez merda, mano. E fez merda de novo, tirou do Bogão, mas parece que voltou, né? E tipo, mano, é normal, velho. E por isso que, tipo, a comunidade ainda ficou puto quando ele tiltou com o bagulho, sei lá, que o Mif matou ele e bola pra frente, mano. Agora, se for uma comunidadezinha, tipo, de quideira, de hypezinho, mano, maluco vão tiltar com o stream, porque tá pouco assistindo pro stream, na real, tá só lá por causa do hype, tá ligado?